Okay, here's a thought. What if the real key to, like, immense power in a fantasy world wasn't just swinging a sword or, chanting spells? What
Mhm.
if it was truly knowing the world, charting it? Could map lines actually become magic lines?
Huh. That's really interesting. Actually, just the other night in our game, we were deep in this old dwarven mine. You know the type. Twisting tunnels, bits falling down. We got completely lost, which doesn't happen often.
Okay.
Yeah, triggered a cave-in, blocked our way back. Total mess. And it was our barbarian, surprisingly, who started sketching, just like remembering the passages, the stonework, the little things. And he figured out this hidden ventilation shaft.
Wow.
Saved us. Wasn't magic, just that grasp of the space, that quick map he made. It was the only thing that got us out.
That is a perfect lead-in. It shows how that spatial sense is its own kind of power.
Huh.
And it brings us right to what we're diving into today. We've got some fantastic material from LitRPG Reads on the new Cartographer Artificer for D&D 2025.
Ah, yes, the cartographer.
Forget the usual artificer stuff for a second. This one uses maps, actual cartography, as the source of their magic and strategy.
There's been a lot of buzz about this one since the Unearthed Arcana dropped. It feels different. It pulls on a whole other fantasy idea, not just combat or alchemy. A fresh take for the artificer.
Exactly, and what I find really compelling is how it reimagines support. It's not your standard healing or duffing. It's about exploration, coordination, manipulating the space itself to help the party.
Right, it's about enabling the whole team through awareness and movement. So where should we start digging into the specifics?
Let's kick off with their spell list. It really leans into that theme, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You look at the list and it screams exploration, scouting, less direct damage, much more about mobility and knowing what's around you.
Like fog cloud.
Yeah.
Classic spell, right?
Yeah.
But a cartographer, if they've mapped the area, they can guide the team right through it. Turns a hindrance into, well, a stealth corridor for their side.
That's a great example. Or think about locate object. With their Special Adventurer's Atlas, which we'll get to, it's like the map itself becomes a scanner, pointing right to that hidden relic or key.
It's like a magical GPS tied to their own maps. And clairvoyance. Instead of just seeing a distant spot, they're basically extending their map, scouting remotely, gathering intel without risk, all viewed through their charts.
And the higher level spells really double down on this. Dimension Door. Instant travel between 2 points they've actually mapped. Imagine the tactical uses bypassing guards, sudden flanking, quick escapes based on known terrain.
And the ultimate explorer tool, a guaranteed way home. Teleportation circle.
For the cartographer, it's not just any circle, it's a pre-planned exit strategy marked right there on their map. It really pushes that idea of planning ahead.
So these spells aren't just utility belts fillers. They open up tactical doors, narrative paths, using Dimension Door for a diversion maybe, while the rogue slips past. Or a teleportation circle as the secret entry point for the Resistance hideout. Okay, this brings us to the real core, I think. Level 3 features. The Adventurer's Atlas and the Scouting Gadgets. These seem to be where the subclass fundamentally changes how you play.
Yeah, the Adventurer's Atlas. The description makes it sound like more than just paper. It's like a shared focal point for the party, a tool for coordination. And that initiative bonus is pretty sweet.
Right, the remapping thing. Once per rest, advantage on initiative for the whole team. That first round could be absolutely crucial.
Huge. And then there's the way it gets around line of sight. This is really clever. If your allies can see the atlas, or you describe it well, you can feed them info even through walls.
So, like, the scout's ahead, spots a trap, tells the cartographer.
Exactly. Cartographer marks it on the map, and suddenly the fighter walking behind knows exactly where not to step, even if they can't see the trigger plate themselves, or guiding someone around cover for a perfect shot.
Okay, that's cool. And then the scouting gadgets, what are those about?
Think portable magical tools, little arcane drones, special lanterns, sensors, things the cartographer uses to interact directly with the world, hands-on exploration aids.
And they do more than just look.
Apparently, yeah. They can scan, mark things on the atlas, maybe even sabotage little mechanisms or free an ally who's tied up or grappled. Gives the cartographer real agency in the field.
And the free fairy fire. That seems like a big deal.
Oh, massive. Consistently revealing invisible enemies or just highlighting targets for advantage, all without burning spell slots. That's incredibly useful in so many fights.
So you can picture the synergy, right? Send out a drone, it maps a room in real time onto your atlas, marks the bad guys, and hits them with fairy fire.
Precisely. Or maybe the party splits up. The Atlas becomes the command center. You use gadgets to mark safe routes back to each other, bypassing locked doors, setting ambushes. Loads of creative potential there.
Let's zoom back in on that Adventurer's Atlas for a sec.
Hmm.
It really is meant to be this living document, constantly updated, keeping the whole party situationally aware.
And that initiative boost from remapping. It's not trivial. Getting the jump consistently can change the whole flow of a fight. Take out the big threats early, set up defenses. It's a major advantage.
Plus the positioning effect, ignoring vision restrictions. Fighting in fog, magical darkness, through twisty corridors. The map gives everyone this shared, almost godlike view as long as they can reference it.
It does, and then shared targeting builds on that. Coordinating attacks on distant foes you can't even see directly. Like the cartographer points to a spot on the map and the wizard drops a fireball right there. It really makes the cartographer the tactical nerve center.
Okay, let's dig into those scouting gadgets again, especially that free fairy fire. The tactical edge seems pretty significant.
It really changes how you handle anything unseen. Invisible stalkers, hidden traps, ambushes in the dark. Fairy fire on tap removes so much of that threat. Fighters can hit, casters can target. It just makes the whole party more effective against those kinds of challenges.
And you mentioned the synergy with teleporting.
Right. Imagine your friend gets grabbed by some huge monster. Use a gadget to tag the ally with fairy fire. Suddenly, they're a bright, obvious target for you to grab with a dimension door and pull them right out of there.
That's smart. So you could use them to reveal assassins, coordinate sneak attacks in the dark, maybe even use a gadget to fiddle with a lock from afar.
All plausible uses. Creating little safe zones of light with fairy fire, tagging a fleeing enemy so they can't hide easily, sending a sensor drone ahead to spot and maybe disarm traps. Very versatile.
All right, moving up in levels. The cartographer gets even better at messing with space. Level 5 to 9, portal jump, and ingenious movement.
Portal jump sounds fun. Short-range teleports, little temporary doorways for you and your allies. Great for dodging big attacks or just getting the cleric out of the front line quickly.
And ingenious movement enhances this.
Seems like it. It boosts the cartographer's own mobility and lets them coordinate these jumps even better. Makes them harder to pin down, always able to pop up where needed.
So you become this sort of battlefield choreographer.
Kind of, yeah. Dodging spells, rescuing allies, teleporting through walls to flank, using an ally's map as a temporary anchor point to cross a gap. It really opens up movement options. Faking retreats, then reappearing behind the enemy. Very tricky.
It feels like it leans into that puzzle solver aspect again.
Yeah.
Not just reacting, but actively using space to control the encounter.
Exactly. It's about proactively shaping the battlefield, not just responding to what the enemy does. Setting up pincer moves, helping the party escape a collapsing room. It's all about position.
Okay, let's jump to the top. Level 15, the capstone. Superior Atlas. Sounds like it really locks in their role.
It's got 3 parts. First, safe haven. Instantly teleport allies in danger to safe spots you've already mapped. At high levels where things hit hard, that's basically an emergency extraction button. Invaluable.
Life-saving, potentially. Then, unerring path.
Pure navigation mastery. Walk through any maze, any confusing illusion, any warped space like you have perfect GPS. Huge for exploring really weird or dangerous magical locations.
And last part, unshakable mind.
Yeah, this one might be quietly amazing, gives you incredible concentration, means you can keep those big, important spells going, like a vital escape portal or a major debuff, even while you're getting hammered.
So put it all together. Instant rescues, guaranteed navigation, rock-solid concentration.
Yeah.
The cartographer becomes this absolute anchor for the party in the toughest situations.
Definitely. The examples are compelling, pulling someone back from the brink, guiding the party through a dimension that's constantly shifting, holding open that teleportation circle while everyone piles through under fire. They become the ultimate guide and safety net.
It's really interesting seeing how this carves out its space compared to the other artificers. They all have their own thing going on.
Right, you've got the alchemists with their potions and volatile support, the battlesmith with their metal doggo fighting alongside them, the armorer who basically becomes Iron Man.
And the cartographer is different. It's really for the player who loves strategy, loves exploration, loves using the environment itself as a tool, maybe more than just dealing direct damage.
Totally. It seems perfect for campaigns heavy on, say, dungeon crawls, city adventures with lots of navigating, heists, mysteries, maybe even plane hopping where maps are vital.
Yeah, the source material we looked at even broke down the roles, mobility, combat style, narrative feel, comparing the cartographer to the others, really shows its unique place.
And finally, just thinking about playing one, the role-playing potential is fantastic.
Oh, for sure. You're not just an inventor. You're an explorer, a lore seeker, someone obsessed with finding the hidden paths and understanding the world's layout.
The backstory ideas are great too. Maybe you're hunting for a legendary lost map, or you're part of a secret guild of planar navigators. Or maybe your maps are, like, alive somehow.
I love the idea of map tattoos that change, or being guided by a sentient quill. It offers so much flavor beyond just the mechanics, a golem with maps carved onto it. That's cool.
And in the game, whenever there's a puzzle involving runes or navigation or ancient lore, you're naturally the one everyone looks to. You get those spotlight moments built in.
So wrapping this up, the Cartographer Artificer feels like a really clever subclass. It elevates mapping from just a background activity to a core magical and strategic element.
Yeah, the way the spells, the atlas, the gadgets all weave together. It seems really rewarding for players who like to think tactically and creatively, whether they plan everything out or improvise on the spot.
And okay, maybe they're not topping the damage charts, but the control, the support, the sheer utility they bring. It proves that understanding and shaping the battlefield is powerful in its own right.
Absolutely. It feels like a subclass ripe for creating those really memorable D&D moments, especially in games that value discovery and working together.
Well, a huge thank you again to LitRPG Reads, and of course to Paul Bello, fine fellow, for highlighting this cool subclass.
And for everyone listening, we'd love to hear what you think. Does the cartographer sound like your kind of artificer? Drop your thoughts in the comments, or maybe share a story about how maps or knowing the terrain made a difference in one of your games.